Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and let's talk about those second molars again. It's a very, very popular topic. Most commonly, I get these questions from lay people, which I don't even work with lay people, consumers, but they still try to message me. And then if I get a good question from them, I don't really answer them. I just tell them to ask their dentist. Um, but I always think, oh, maybe I should make some content about this because I feel like dentists don't always get it. So let me kind of tell you how an orthodontist manages this. So, our goal is to give everyone a straight teeth and a great bite from second molar to second molar, right? Now, I know a lot of you general dentists say, hey, I see it all the time where everything's great from first molar to first molar or six to six, but the sevens are wonky. How come the general dentist didn't fix the sevens? Well, sometimes how come the orthodontist didn't fix the sevens? Well, sometimes it's not the orthodontist's fault. Sometimes it's the patient who chooses to discontinue treatment. So don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, a lot of times they just don't communicate well with the consumer. So let's just talk about a couple different scenarios and what I would say and what I would do. First of all, I don't normally put braces or start, adjusting second molars in braces unless I need to because they're very uncomfortable. They're not fun. They're miserable. They cut your mouth and they break off and you really have to watch what you eat. So if I'm going to put second molar brackets on, it's only going to be if they really need them. And it's only going to be when they really need them. I'm going to wait as long as possible to put them on and just last minutes. I mean, sometimes you got to put them on earlier just because something you absolutely need them. And I have a lot of content about when you need them earlier. But you can look up that content by searching by keywords, second molar or just molar. You'll find it. Okay. So that would be the main thing. So it's towards the end after you've finished everything else. You finished your AP, you finished your alignment, you finished your leveling. Then you put the second molar brackets on if you need them. If you don't need them, great, you got lucky, fantastic. Don't always need them. Okay. What if we're like done with six to six and one molar like this one is like wonky? Do we need to put it on? Well, that is up to the patient and the parent. And I will get both in the room. And I will not require them to answer it on the spot. It'll be like 1 month before. Give them time to talk about it at home. I never want to pressure people or feel like they have to give an answer then because sometimes the answer changes, and I want this to be like a firm answer. All right, got good news, mom, and whoever, patient. Great news is that, and usually by this time they're asking, when can I get my braces off? When can I get my braces off? So the great news is that we're done from first molar to first molar. My goal is to give you perfectly straight teeth and a perfect bite. That is my goal. All the teeth that are erupted should be perfect and straight. But, in reality, sometimes we have a second molar that comes in a little twisty. Is anyone going to see it? Nope. Nobody's going to see it. The only person's going to see it is your dentist. Is it harming your bite? Nope. Not bothering you at all. As long as it's not bothering your tongue or your cheek, I'm fine with it. But ultimately, this is the time. If you paid for all your teeth straight, I'm happy to put a bracket on it. It's going to take a few more months. Let me explain the pros and the cons. Obviously, the cons. You got to eat a soft diet for a few months, at least on that side. You're going to have to be really careful how you sleep, what you do. If it breaks off, you're going to have to come in. It's going to be poking you, wax, cotton rolls, all that kind of stuff, or bands, or base, etc. It's not going to be a fun few months, but at least you got everything straight, right? I would say it's 50-50. I would say the vast majority of the time, they're like, forget it, we're good. Okay, well, great then. Do you want to take a few more weeks to think about it and just let me know next month, just so you can discuss it with your husband or siblings or friends or whatever. And then you can exit out of the room and just say, hey, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to discuss if you want some more time or if you want to call it now. If they feel like they're ready to call it, then great, let's call it. If they want more time, great. And you shouldn't look disappointed at any answer. You got to try to have a most agnostic face when you do this. What we don't want is we don't want them coming back 2 years later and saying, my general dentist says you didn't finish straightening all my teeth and that I should get a partial refund. Oh yeah, that's happened to me before. Even that's after they told me that they were good with it. So then I started grabbing signatures. It's okay not to leave that tooth straight. Risks, benefits explained, sign. That's probably a smart move. I would strongly recommend that because I can't tell you how many times, sometimes, we came to an agreement and everyone's cool with it. But the general dentist gets upset because they tell them, oh, they did junk orthodontics or they cheated you out of not straightening your teeth. And sometimes the general dentist will get a bad opinion of you. And this could do the most damage to your bottom line. So, and obviously most of my channel is primary care dentists, but I'm just saying, I mean, sometimes you guys are going to take cases that aren't your GP patients, or your GP might move someplace else. I mean, your patient might move to another state, and 5-10 years down the road, you might hear something about this, you know? Or they go to an orthodontist 10 years later, 8 years later, and they're like, how come you didn't straighten all the teeth? You should ask for a refund. I mean, you'd be surprised the stuff that happens. So yeah, you can even, and it's a great idea if you're not the primary care dentist, to even contact the primary care dentist and let them know ahead of time. I mean, it's not a bad idea, just to make sure that because you got to realize there's a lot of people that talk smack. I mean, it could be, if something isn't perfect, the dentist might talk smack, the hygienist might talk smack. How come your tooth is still crooked? I hear it all the time. So we don't want anyone talking smack about you or not referring patients to you because they have the impression that you don't do a good job when this was just the agreement that you had with the patient. Does that make sense? I think you guys got the idea. That's why I want you to be really, really careful with leaving it unless you've really covered your bases. I mean, sometimes it's just not worth it, to be honest. I mean, pick your poison. Obviously, if they're firm and they do not want to continue, then they're firm. Make sure you get something signed. And don't make them feel bad. Like, hey, I'm cool with it. I just don't want, your dentist in 10 years to get upset with me. That's all it is. Or, you just kind of joke around, Okay, so you guys get the idea of the risks. Obviously, if it's bothering their tongue, they're bothering their cheek, you fix it. So that's the main thing. Now, what about the scenario where they're not fully erupted yet and you don't know? That sometimes happens, you don't even know if they're going to come up straight yet. Well, I mean, then you could totally discontinue, but then you need to promise them that they do a recall visit. Obviously they're going to have retainer checks, but within 6 months, if we decide we need the braces to go back on in a limited fashion, just to fix that area, we can. No, you got to make it sure that they don't think they're getting free braces no matter what, because what we don't want is they didn't wear the retainers and they get free braces only to straighten that area. And you could say the braces will only go on that area. Now they may not, they may have to go on the whole area, but you're offering them just, it could be aligners. Even sometimes doing a white label or a very limited aligners, you can fix those. To be honest, it's way faster than braces. Just doing some flex or limited aligners, 7 aligners. I mean, it may cost you a couple $100 lab fee, but it's going to save you way more time. Just on that arch, get it done. You don't have to promise them how you do it. You could just say, we will decide to address this by the end of the year. I'm making a note that if it's needed, something gets stuck, something comes up weird, and you want to fix it, we will fix that area. But we need to make the decision, by the end of the year, Just put a time limit on it, write the time limit down and have them sign. That is my most important thing. And of course, if they're not there yet, when the time limit comes, you can always do it again. But I've also had issues where we were kind of ambiguous about it, like too fluffy. And then they were like, well, you said you'd fix this. And it's like 5 years later, So if you said you're going to fix it and you didn't put a date on it and they didn't sign, well, then you got to fix it, even if it's 5-10 years later. So, and all these type of things can cause trouble for you if and when you sell your practice. So all these things can come back to haunt you. So you got to be very particular. Even if you feel like you have a good relationship, it's not fair to the other doctors who might have the practice down the road, and it might devalue your practice. All right, I know I'm talking all this doom and gloom, but I'm just going over all the scenarios of not fixing a second molar. Hopefully you got it. All right, thanks so much.